Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This video we look at a game from 1886 between Steinitz and Zukertort from the last game of their World Championship. Steinitz had used the Steinitz gambit, which starts after e4, e5, knight c3, knight c6, f4, ef4, d4, queen h d5. Okay, or queen h4 check, king e2, d5. It transposes to the same position. d5, ed5, queen h4, king. He has used this many times in his career and also in this game that we are about to see. So it's kind of a provocative opening and asking the opponent to punish him for his mistakes at a very early stage. So as you will see in this game, Zukertort intends to do just that, but it seems to be some kind of a trap. And let's see what happens. So d4, d5, ed5, queen h4, king e2. Now black plays queen e7 check. So there's not a lot white can do here. He plays king f2, queen h4. So Zukertort is repeating the position, and Steinitz refuses to draw with g3. And he had already played a game in this position and lost to Chigorin in this exact position. And he continues to believe in this position, and he has repeated again now. So f into g3, Steinitz replies with king g2. So very interesting moment. As g into h2 loses to rook into h2, and my queen is attacked, and also my knight. And it's fascinating that there is not one check that can be given to the white king which does not hurt white's position. So queen g4 also loses to bishop g4, dc6, and I'm just a piece up. So there's not a good check that black can give here. So g into h2 is not a real possible. So in this game, Zukertort plays knight into d4. There was a game played before this, which was Steinitz Chigorin, and that game continued bishop d6, queen e1, knight e7, h into g3, and it was a very complicated game, but which black won, which Chigorin won. But so I'm sure Steinitz was prepared in some way for it. So in this game, black plays knight into d4, and after h into g3, queen g4. So as we will see in this game, the concept of the Steinitz gambit is that when the queen that comes to attack the white king ends up never returning. The same concept is seen in another game, Steinitz Paulsen, and also in this one. In provocation, this is a provocative opening, and when coming to attack, it ends up not attacking the king but loses itself. So as you will see in the game, queen g4. Of course, white does not want to exchange this queen, as a lot of his tempos and a lot of his development is dependent on the black queen. So white uses that black queen to speed up his development. Queen e1, bishop e7, bishop d3. So rook h4 is not possible now because of knight c2. And whatever we do, I defends the knight, and there's no reason to do this basically. So Steinitz first defends the c2 pawn with bishop d3, but increasing his threats. And of course, he's threatening rook h4 now, winning a piece. So black has to do something pretty quickly. So as you can see already now, the white king is very safe, and it is the black has to respond to the threats placed upon his exposed queen and other minor piece. So black plays knight f5, preventing this idea of rook h4, knight f3. Again, a lot of threats and tempos are coming. For example, even bishop d7 looks, it was played in the game, and after knight e5, queen g3 is a problem. Queen g3, knight g3, king g3, bishop d6, bishop f4, g5. And black regains the piece, and it doesn't make sense. I mean, it should be good for black. So after bishop d7, you can see how the game goes. Steinitz again responds with a threat, one more threat, and the threat is knight e5 now. The queen is feeling a bit insecure at the moment and bit caged. So it's a story of the predator becoming the prey. The queen that came out to attack the white king is not going to survive its journey. So Zukertort played f6 to stop knight e5 basically, and one more threat, knight e4. So every move consists of a threat against the black queen and its surrounding pieces. And if you look at the position now, all of white's pieces are developed. And even the rook here has an open line. Only the rook on a1, which will soon come into play, or it might not even have to. And you can see how difficult black's position has become. So one of the threats now is knight f2 and g4, eventual knight f2, queen g6 and g4. For example, if you do triplo, knight f2, queen g6, g4, with the threat of bishop f5, bishop f5, knight h4. For example, h5, bishop f5, bishop f5, knight h4. Black does get some pawns for the piece, but white enjoys a huge positional advantage in any case, I think, because of the undeveloped pieces, and he's just better. So they expose. So now it's white who's attacking, and the white king, which bravely ventured out in the open after the first 4 moves, is now an extremely safe piece. So it's kind of a counter gambit. You tempt your opponent into coming out with this queen and attack, and you end up winning a lot of tempos just by attacking that queen. So Zukertort blundered here with knight h6, but it was already a very difficult position. And Steinitz did not miss this combination. He played bishop g6, knight h6, and rook h6. And g h6 was played. I mean, it's a losing position, as I've already lost a piece for not enough compensation. And Zukertort took, and Steinitz just won the queen. It's you can resign here in good conscience, and that's exactly what Zukertort did. And this is a beautiful concept in this opening, I can say. And you tempt your opponent to doing something rash or in a relaxed way, and in the end he suffers for it. So I think Chigorin managed to beat Steinitz in this variation, but Steinitz won a lot of games also by tempting the opponent's queen and developing very fast and creating a counter attack. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.